Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm in my dining room again. We're working on splitting this room into a dining and workspace with a desk, but for right now I wanted to get started on making some art for this wall, which has been bare for over 2 years. I'm slowly wanting to include some of my Puerto Rican culture here. So I wanted to recreate my grandmother's kitchen in Palo Hincado, Barranquitas, Puerto Rico, some architecture, and the flor de maga, which I will talk about in a bit. Puerto Rico has been called a lot of things over the years: a colony, a territory, a commonwealth, a free associated state. The labels change depending on who's speaking, but through it all, one thing has stayed steady: coffee. Coffee came to the island in 1736 from Martinique, back when Puerto Rico was still under Spanish rule. And it didn't just survive here, it thrived. The mountains, the humidity, the rich soil of the Cordillera Central, it was the perfect place for it. By the late 1800s, there were hundreds of registered coffee haciendas across the island. Coffee wasn't just a drink in Puerto Rico. It was their livelihoods, identity, and routines. By the 1890s, Puerto Rico was the sixth largest exporter of high-grade coffee in the world. Imagine that. A small island competing with places like Brazil and Colombia and holding its own. The industry grew even more with immigration from Haiti and better farming methods. For a while, coffee was a point of pride. The United States annexed Puerto Rico after the Spanish-American War, and everything shifted. Puerto Rico became a part of the United States on October 18, 1898, following the Spanish-American War. The island was formally ceded by Spain through the Treaty of Paris on December 10, 1898, and ratified in 1899, establishing it as an unincorporated territory. Then August 8, 1899 happened. Huracán San Ciriaco destroyed the Puerto Rican coffee industry, acting as the primary catalyst for its decline. The Category 4 storm devastated mountainside plantations just before harvest, destroying over half of the island's crops and shifting the economy towards sugar production under U.S. control. Coffee prices dropped, sugarcane became the focus, and little by little, Puerto Rican coffee lost its global position. From the very beginning, Puerto Rico's coffee industry has had to bend to forces outside of its control: Spain, the United States, and global markets. And then there's nature. Hurricanes don't care about politics. Storms have torn through the island for centuries, flattening crops in hours. Huracán Maria in 2017 alone destroyed thousands of farms, nearly a quarter of the island's farmland. One storm can undo generations of work, which we unfortunately saw happen to my late grandfather's farm. It's no wonder that Puerto Rico went from being one of the world's top coffee exporters to mostly producing coffee just for itself. But if there's one thing I know about Boricuas, especially when it comes to coffee, it's that giving up isn't really in our nature. I've chosen to paint a tin of café crema as that was my parents' coffee brand of choice when they lived on the island. Established in 1925 by its founder Don José Pepe Garrido Morales and his wife Matilde Alonso. In 1925, Don José established a small warehouse in the city of Caguas where he produced coffee with rudimentary tools. His coffee had no name, and it was distributed by a single man who sold bags of flour all over the town. A year later, Don Pepe married Matilde Alonso, who brought a great commercial vision to her husband's business. Together, they laid the first foundations of what would later become a very productive company. Café Crema was born with a minimum investment and with the help of 3 employees. By 1928, Don Pepe thought about acquiring a more effective and faster engine to grind his coffee. His ideas were almost interrupted by the terrible Hurricane San Felipe. But despite the heavy downpours and floods, Don Pepe crossed through a large river to the town of Agua Buena, and from there he brought a gasoline engine to his warehouse that made the production more efficient. Little by little, coffee growers in the area increased the sale of raw coffee. The company grew and its personnel multiplied. Still, without exceeding the operational limits of Aguas, Café Crema stood out in the market for its exceptional quality. In the 1940s, they already had a bitter mill, even though the process remained essentially manual. A concrete building was also built for roasting. At that time, Puerto Rico left a substantial surplus for export each year. Over time, Café Crema came to cover the eastern area of the island, becoming one of the leading companies. Don Pepe's dedication to overcoming every adversary is what drives Café Crema's passion to continue serving the best cup of coffee. To this day, Café Crema is considered one of the leading coffee brands in the local market. Inside the tin is the flor de maga, the official national flower of Puerto Rico, known for its large, vibrant red to pink hibiscus-like blooms and 5 petals with a prominent central pistil. This small to medium tree is endemic to the island's mountainous regions, thrives in full sun, and is used for its durable wood and ornamental beauty. It is also, erroneously, referred to as amapola, a Puerto Rican term for hibiscus. It is a tree in the Malvaceae family of the rosids clade endemic to Puerto Rico, where it was officially recognized as of August 1st, 2019. Originally native to the humid lower limestone mountains of the Cordillera Central Carso Norteño, also known as the Northern Karst Belt, in the western and north-central regions of the main island, it has become widespread throughout the archipelago due to extensive cultivation. Though the maga is contained within the same family of hibiscus and may sometimes be referred to as such in English and amapola in Puerto Rican Spanish, it truly belongs to a different genus and is more closely related to cotton. Major differences between the flor de maga and the hibiscus are: the flor de maga grows on trees that can reach up to 65 feet tall, comes in deep pink or red with glossy heart-shaped leaves, and has an intoxicating floral scent. The hibiscus comes in numerous colors and grows on a shrub or bush. Its foliage is ovate and many species have no aroma. It's from the website Coqui El Original. I quote, "Flor de maga is integral to the cultural identity of our Commonwealth and its people. While various flores of Puerto Rico have inspired art, poetry, and music for generations, none embodies our national character quite like the Flor de maga. Our beautiful island has historically gone through many intense weather events, specifically hurricanes. These trees have rebounded and let their beauty shine after each trying event. As a result, Flor de maga is a symbol of our bravery and resilience through challenging times." Unquote. And if you are American, you may have famously seen it worn by this queen at the halftime show this year. Thank you for watching my first video on these paintings. Keep an eye out for the next one, and remember to subscribe.